Alright, what's up? In this YouTube video, it's going to be a little different. We're going to be looking at a website called monster-master.wikia.com. If you just go there, you can find um, all sorts of different things. Here, we'll go to the main page, and all sorts of different information, and a lot of it's not filled up. You can look at the Pokedex and everything, but the main thing I want to go over is here, Shiny and Mega. I'm going to be going through this list of shinies and megas, tell you which ones are more viable, and at the end I'll probably kind of highlight my top 10 lists. I haven't even really thought too hard about it, but um, anyways, we're going to start. We have Venusaurs, obviously shiny Venusaurs. Shiny Pokemon are better as megas, better than their normal forms. Venusaur can be very tough to take down because it runs Leech Seed and Sleep Powder. So if you have Black Sludge, it can also recover a lot. Charizard is pretty good. It can kind of counter Weavile to a certain extent, although Night Slash. Actually, I don't think. Never mind. Scratch that. Charizards cannot counter Weaviles. I'm thinking of Blaziken. Um, Fire fightings are good against Weavile. I wouldn't recommend using a Charizard. Yeah, they're not that great. Blastoise is not that great. Beedrill has really good speed, 145 speed, 150 attack, and he can just U-turn and then hit him and get out. However, he's just way too fragile. I don't see him being. I think there's other fast Pokemon that are better than Beedrill. We have Pikachu, Primeape, not worth even talking about. Alakazam, shiny Alakazam. By the way, for Pokemon like Alakazam, Gengar, you need to have the shiny Pokemon, or like shiny Gyarados, for them to Mega Evolve. I think it's a little silly how regular Gyarados, regular Alakazam, regular Gengar cannot Mega Evolve. Anyways, shiny Alakazam has 150 speed, which is ridiculous. Probably the top speed besides speed Deoxys, which is 180. So 150 is really good. If you can't get a Mewtwo, Alakazam would be a pretty good sweeper with 175 special attack. Some people run not choice band, focus band. So you survive a one-hit KO with 1 HP, and then they run counter on Alakazam. I thought that's pretty creative. Really, a really good late game sweeper if you can't get a Mewtwo. Shiny Rapidash just looks so pretty, but not good. Mega Slowbro, I would say very closely gets onto the top 10. Probably number 11 or 12 on my list. Very, very viable. It's not a legendary, easy to get. It has a rejuvenator ability where every time you switch out, he recovers HP. So he's very tough to kill. Some people use Toxic or Curse on it with Slack Off, or they just abuse that ability. And Ice Beam is also always good to have on it, I think. You can run Slowbro in many different ways, but just look out for Toxics. Let's see. Let's turn off this music. Also, another thing about Slowbro is that he's really good to countering things like Groudon, physical hitters like Garchomp, outrage moves. Next, we have Shiny Mega Gengar. I think he's very viable because a Ghost type he has Levitate, so immune to ground, fighting, normal. 125 is actually pretty fast. 170 is very good special attack. He can use Hypnosis, Substitute, Shadow Ball. I see people running counter on it with the choice Focus Band. Um, However, more stronger players use berries to protect against Hypnosis. If you're gonna try Hypnosis, you should probably get a Darkrai instead. Anyways, moving on. Kangaskhan, I'm not sure if he has his ability, but if he does, where the baby can attack too, at least he'd be fun. But definitely not one of the top megas. Pinsir, Gyarados, Aerodactyl can be very viable. 150 speed, speed tie with, um, actually faster than Mewtwo's. Speed tie with Alakazam. It can Rock Slide flinch, but the thing is, Aerodactyl is a little fragile with one ice, or I don't know. It depends. If you upgrade him, he can actually take some hits. I like Aerodactyl. I think he's fast. He hits hard. He has tough claws, similar to Mega Weavile, which we'll talk about later. So decent option. We don't have Mega Snorlax yet, so this website isn't necessarily super accurate, but it could be in the coding, meaning we could very well see Mega Snorlax later, which is kind of nice to see, like Mega Zapdos, Mega Dragonite, Mega Snorlax. We don't normally see any of these Megas in the Pokemon Nintendo world, so that's nice to see. Strong special defense, good 160 HP, which is ridiculous. So if he does get a Mega later in an update, he would be pretty good. Also, he has immunity to Toxic, so I also like that. Okay, Zapdos. A lot of people Mega Zapdos. I guess if you're a free-to-play player, that Zapdos would be a good option. He can run Hidden Power Ice, Thunderbolt, Roost. You gotta be careful with Roost though. But also I think Toxic is really good, better than Heat Wave. A lot of people go with Heat Wave or Signal Beam. Toxic with Roost is always just annoying. Or Substitute could also work. And I also wanted to mention that he has Lightning Rod ability, which is great for predicting a lightning electric attack, and instead of taking any damage, he increases his special attack +1. So if you're a free-to-play player, Zapdos is a good option. Free-to-play player, Dragonite is a good option. But if you're throwing down money, wasting your money like I do, I don't know. There are better legendaries. It's a pseudo-legendary, so things like Rayquaza would be way better than Dragonite, in my opinion. 100 speed which is fair, decent bulk enough, and he's a physical attacker. A lot of people go with special attack. I think going with Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, maybe Ice Punch or Earthquake. Outrage, of course, is his main move, but you might want to be careful because you can get easily stuck into it. So Dragonite is very, very viable. A lot of ways to play him. He's got multi-scale ability, and same with Lugia. Multi-scale reduces damage by 50% when you're at 100% HP. And Dragon, since there's no fairy types, Dragons are hard to counter if you don't have a Steel type. Okay, next we have Mewtwo's, and I have both of these Mewtwo's. I personally prefer Mega Mewtwo Y, the special attacker. As a Mega, he's still bulky. My Mega Mewtwo has over 12k HP, and even though he has 70 HP, 70 defense, he's at 140 speed. Very, very fast. Outspeeds most things. Try to get a good nature. Go going back to Mega Mewtwo X, easily one of the top Megas. It's Mewtwo. Um, he has this ability that Unnerve, where you can Toxic or T-Wave or Will-O-Wisp. He has such a good move pool. He can go Mix Attacker. He has Drain Punch to recover. I think just using Recover is good, but he doesn't learn it to a higher level. Cycle Cut, if you slap on a Scope Lens, Cycle Cut has a high crit chance. Ice Punch would be viable. The way I use Mewtwo is a Toxic, and I use Substitute. Just because Unnerve bypasses the berry, so you can get a Toxic pretty easily, and then stall him since you're a little faster. People you run Bulk Up with Drain Punch, or you run Low Kick. You can run all sorts of different moves on Mega Mewtwo. Just an all-out attacker would be good. And there's not a lot of fighting Megas, besides Lucario, Blaziken, Hariyama, Heracross. Fast fighting type is pretty good. However, he's weak to Ghosts and some other flying. And yeah, I like using Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. Let's see. For Mega Mewtwo Y, I run Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Aura Sphere. I think Aura Sphere is a must because Aura Sphere takes out Dark types. Also, Tyranitar is 4 times weak to it. Weavile is 4 times weak to it. Recover would be good on it. Signal Beam could also work instead of Shadow Ball. A lot of different ways of playing Mega Mewtwo Y. I would say the best Mega, hands down, best Mega. Mew, I don't have a Mew. I don't really think it's that great. We have Mega Ampharos, which also has Lightning Rod ability, and it's a Dragon type. Not super viable. It's probably on par with Zapdos. There's so many ice moves, dragon moves, ground moves that I don't know. I don't think it's super great with these RVs. Skipping these guys, I think Fortress is one of those Pokemon that don't need to Mega, and Fortress is probably the best Spiker. He can also run Toxic Spikes and Stealth Rock with the TM, which is very hard to get. Toxic Spikes and Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin. You can also do Counter, which is very common to counter Outrages. You can run Curse, which is just annoying. When I hate fighting Fortresses because you can run Curse, and then that sets up another Pokemon for your team. Fortress is very viable, even though he doesn't Mega. This is a shiny Fortress. I kind of wish I had one because he's fun to use. Not a lot of Pokemon can get rid of his spikes. Okay, Steel types. We have Steelix, Scizor, we have Metagross, we also have Aggron. Aggron has 230 defense, 70 HP. Just a full Steel type. While Steelix has 230 as well. Fortress 160. Scizor 140. The reason I like Scizor the most, even though his RVs aren't as good, is because he has Roost to recover. He has Bug Bite. Bug Bite also gets rid of berries. You get Toxic Stall, a Double Team, Substitute, Swords Dance. If it could Baton Pass, that would be really good. Scizor is only weak to fire. Unlike these other Steels, they would be weak to ground, fighting. So only weak to fire, so Kyogre would be a good teammate. Scizor also is resistant to Dragon type moves, which is very common. So I think Scissor is good with Bug Bite, and then you Toxic them or something, and then Roost, Double Team, or something like that. Also counters probably one of the better um, counters to Mewtwo's. Anyways, moving on. Heracross, I haven't seen too many Heracrosses in my experience. Um, Stantler. Yeah. We have Shiny Suicune. Some people run Miracle. This is a really good, kind of like Milotic. I actually think Milotic's a little better. Um, Suicune does have Miracle. He's a good rest sleep talker. He's good at Calm Mind, Scowl to burn, Ice Beam for the dragons. Very good water type, bulky water type. I think Slowbro is probably better than him. Tyranitar, I see a lot of people play Tyranitar. I mean, we all love Tyranitar, but in terms of viability, I don't think he's that great. And I think if you could run Dragon Dance TM on it, I think that would be kind of fun. He does have Sandstorm, which is good at getting rid of the Pokemon at the end. Um, it does resist. It does. It is immune to Psychic. Um, I don't know. Like it's tanky enough. 150 defense, which is actually very good. 164 attack. He's good. I don't know. I feel like Garchomp might be even better than him. Um, maybe I'm a little biased. Um, kind of easy to play around. Crunch, Earthquake, Rock Slide. Um, probably his go-to moves. Um, anyways, yeah. Some people also run Toxic with him. I'm not a big fan in Tyranitar for this game, anyways. Just because there's so many other stronger legendaries. Okay, moving on. We have Shiny Lugia, Lugia Mega, or Mega Lugia, Shiny. So I'm gonna talk about these two. Um, this one costs like 1,400 or $1,388, which man, that is ridiculous. How it's very tempting to be honest because his RVs are excellent. 810 is I don't know if that's the highest, but easily in the top 5, maybe top 4, 3 um, in best megas. Um, normal Lugia, normal Mega Lugia is also very good. The big difference here is 20 extra RVs and special defense, an extra 11 special attack. Um, not a lot of people run physical attacks on him, but he does get higher attack. Interestingly, normal Lugia has 10 more defense, a little more HP. You can see the differences. That extra 5 speed makes a big difference, I think, because there's a lot of 130s, and 135 is, I think it speed ties with Weavile. Where's Weavile? Weavile! I know I didn't come across. There he is. So at least it's speed tied with 135. Um, odds are is even people who throw so much money, it's not worth spending that much money. Um, but it is probably a very strong shiny mega. Um, people run Toxic, Ice Beam, Aeroblast, Substitute. You can run all sorts. Such a great move pool. Roost is better than Recover. Um, gets rid of its flying typing. It has multi-scale, like Dragonite. Um, you can Toxic and Double Team stall pretty easily. Um, anyways, yeah, I think Lugia's great. If you can get a Lugia, go for it. Um, yeah, good bulky Pokemon. Um, mainly because not his RVs. If you look at his RVs, it's really multi-scale. I think that makes him good. Ho-Oh is good. He's a fire flying. 165 special defense, 110 HP is pretty good. What makes Ho-Oh good is its rejuvenator ability. Whenever you switch out, kind of like Slowbro, you recover. I forget how much HP. I want to say 25, 30% of HP. Very good toxic staller. Very good special wall. Um, it has pluck, which makes it even better in terms of toxic, hitting toxic. You can also run substitute. It's good, very viable, probably in the top 15 megas. Doesn't make my top 10. A lot of people love Sceptile. He's fast, but I don't know. I don't think he's I don't know. I don't think he's that great. Too low defense, doesn't have high enough attacks. And really, I feel like he should have higher physical attack. You could Giga Drain, I mean not Giga Drain, Leech Seed, and then substitutes Leech Stall. It does pick up a Dragon typing. I wouldn't run Sceptile. Blaziken actually is worth considering just because Weaviles are so annoying. Um, Firefighting can resist ice and dark. Um, yeah. If you have to pick a fire type, I would go with Ho-Oh. Blaziken's okay. He's alright. Swampert now is something to talk about. He's only weak to grass. He can do rain dance, swift swim, which would make his speed double. To me, that's pretty cool. However, most people like to run counter because counter can stop a Weavile. It could stop outrage, and Swampert is a pretty decent counter to Groudon. Groudon is top tier um, Pokemon Pokemon in PvP. I like Swampert, very viable, um, probably in my top 15. Um, Waterfall, Ice Punch, and Earthquake, of course. A lot of different ways to play him. Even Rest would be good on him with a berry. I'm gonna skip Gardevoir, Breloom, Hariyama, not worth talking about. Weavile, Aggron, we talked about a little bit. Manectric, I haven't seen a Mega Manectric in gameplay, but kind of like Ampharos and Zapdos, subpar. We have um, Altaria. I don't think he's that good. Mediocre at best. Okay, we have Shiny and regular Milotics. Milotic or Milotic? I say Milotic. Um, Very good at Toxic. It could Curse. It could Recover. It could Ice Beam, Surf, all sorts of different moves in its move pool. I think Milotic is good because it has such a consistent recover. Some people run Safeguard. Rest Sleep Talk would be good because its ability is when it's status, its defense is increased by 1.5 or 50%. Yeah, I think I'm getting tired of talking. This video is getting too long. I didn't expect to go through each Pokemon. Absol. A lot of people love Absol. Swords Dance. Night Slash is going to be your go-to move. Night Slash has a high crit chance. 150 is actually higher than Weavile's, but its speed is a little lower. Deadly Pokemon, especially when we get to Swords Dance in, or Substitute. Easily can sweep at the end. We have Salamence, also good Pokemon. arguably a little better than Dragonite because of its speed. I believe it has Intimidate. I'm not sure if it has Intimidate. 150 attack, Dragon Claw, Outrage, can run Flamethrower. Overall, very good. Mega. Okay, now Mega Metagross. He's probably my top 15 as well because he hits so hard. 150, 110 speed, and good defense. Good typing. Earthquake, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, you name it. Hammer Arm, different rock moves. He could do, what's that move? Well, it has Tough Claw's ability, so that automatically increases physical attacks. If you put a Muscle Band on him or a Choice Band, it makes him stronger. Iron Claws, I think that's the move. Is it Iron Claws? No. What's the one where he's sharp, what is it called? I'm blanking out on the move, I'm getting tired. The move that increases accuracy is good with Meteor Mash and Hammer Arm. So I'm just blanking right now. Okay, so Latias and Latios would be in my top 10. Only if you get Sodu. Sodu increases their special attack and special defense 50%. I think it's 50%. To me, that's OP because 160 special attack is high already, but 50% of that would be 240, I want to say. 240 special attack. And to me, I would rather go bulkier, and I think Latias is a little better because he's got better defense, better special defense. This Latios looks cooler, first of all, hits harder, but I think tankier is better because it can run recover. Very viable, but the thing is, Dragon Psychic is so weak to ice moves, dark moves, dragon moves, not Shadow Ball, but ghost moves. Kyogre and Groudon are we could spend a lot of time on because they get a special item, Kyogre's Tooth, Groudon's Scale, which I happen to luckily get both of them. You can get it through Diamond Box or pay $800. Groudon's Scale increases Groudon's defense and special defense by 30%. Very bulky, probably the best physical tank in my opinion. Just because he's not only tanky, but he can hit at 180 attack. He can Swords Dance, he can Rock Polish. Groudon could be arguably top 3 megas. Kyogre, I like to run Hidden Power Ground just because Groudon's counter Kyogre so well. Hidden Power Ground at least keep this in check. Ice Beam at least does some damage. You probably know that they have their ability, Drought, and that brings the sun, so that I can't even explain the weather stuff. You know, the weather abilities. Rayquaza is the one that kind of counters them. However, Rayquaza can't really come in on an Ice Beam. That'd be not good. But Rayquaza does counter Groudon pretty well. Groudon can run Fire Punch, Earthquake. I run Stone Edge, Rock Climb. There's a Hammer Arm. I think Rest is really good on these because you're likely to get toxic. Maybe you can Calm On or Bulk Up or Set Up, and then Rest, Berry, try to do as much damage as you can. These two fit on teams very well. You'll see them a lot in PvP. Groudon also counters Weavile. To me, that's very important. Weavile's, again, just kind of OP right now. Enough about those two. Oh wait, one more thing. Groudon is immune to lightning, electric, and also water moves, unless Kyogre comes in or Rayquaza comes in and takes away its sunlight ability. Um, so Groudon is immune to water, um, and he's technically 4 times weak to water, so that's why people run Surf on Rayquaza. That's pretty tricky, I think. So these three kind of dance around each other like rock, paper, scissors. Um, to me, what's stupid is that Kyogre is immune to fire. People don't use fire moves on a water type. But if you know, like say the guy's using a Charizard, you can bring in Kyogre knowing that Fire Blast won't do nothing. To me, he should be immune to electric or grass, like one of his weaknesses. That would make him way better. Kyogre's Tooth, forgot to mention, increases its special attack 30% and physical attack. A lot of different ways to play these two. Let's keep moving on. Rayquaza, immune to ground. Its ability, what's its ability? I forget the weather one. I'm getting super tired. Um, it could Swords Dance, it could Dragon Dance setup, it could Substitute. It has its own item where it would increase speed 20%. I believe 20% of that is like near 138-ish. 138-ish would outspeed. Is 138? Would outspeed Mega Weavile if you guys are upgraded um, the same in the same level. Rayquaza can actually be a very beast because that his ability um, it takes 50% less damage from its weaknesses of flying. Its flying weaknesses, not its dragon weaknesses. Its flying weaknesses. Flying weaknesses are electric, rock, ice. I think those are the only three. So he takes 50% less damage from those types of moves. However, his defense is not that good. He's meant to be kind of a glass cannon sweeper, but he can take some hits. He does come in and counter the weather twins. Um, again, outrage. If you get a Swords Dance in or Dragon Dance, outrage is hard to stop. So that's why Rayquaza. This is again like Lugia 1,344 or $88, something like that. Ridiculous price. If you can get a regular Rayquaza, I'd say go for it. It's just as good. Look, the difference is minute. 5 extra attack. Come on. At least with Lugia, it was significant. He's red, big deal. If you can get him, go for it. Yeah, really good at sweeping. It can run extreme speed. It can run surf, earthquake, waterfall. Um, it has that dragon ascent, which I don't think you got to pay money for that TM. I don't know. Dragon Claw would be good if you want to get second outrage. Um, he's pretty tough to counter, but it's doable. It's Slowbro, for instance, or Steel type. You can run Flamethrower. Anyways, you get the gist of it. Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre are beasts. Now, Deoxys is a tricky Pokemon to talk about because he has a speed form, defense form, and attack form. However, if you do that first, if you transform him first, you'll do the mistake like I did, where he cannot Mega after you transform him. You want to Mega Evolve him into regular Mega Deoxys first. And I believe with the Mega, I'm going to test this out tomorrow. I believe with the update that we just had in Poke League that his attack form will be available for the Mega. Before it wasn't. And its defense form, look at this. 180 defense. 180 special defense, but only 50 HP. So that's kind of but ridiculous defense. He can recover, toxic, substitute, just stall people out. I prefer Mega attack form. 210 is unheard of. 210. The only thing that compares to that would be Latios and Latias with their Sodu. Deoxys, I have a Life Ball. Other people run Focus Band. I think Life Ball is probably the best item for it because He's a glass cannon. He outspeeds pretty much everything in the meta. I think Beedrill might be. I don't know. I forget how fast, but the fastest Mega here is 180 speed Deoxys, but just because he's fast, you also want to be able to hit hard, and he's not tanky at all. So I don't get speed Deoxys. I don't even recommend Deoxys in general because he's just too flimsy defensively. Um, for fun, you can run Ice Beam, Ice Punch is probably a must. You can substitute to stall, Psycho Cut, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Aura Sphere, Thunderbolt. You know, such a good move pool, but only good in the late game. So if you're gonna run him, run Spikes. Don't use him to the end. He can't really take a hit. Moving on. What is this? Infrared. Fernape. Getting tired. Um, Fernape, fighting, fire, same like Blaziken, average, in my opinion. Junk. Probably the best pseudo-legendary, probably better than Tyranitar. Ground Dragon hits just, it stops Groudon pretty well. 175 attack. That's his. He just hits hard. He hits like a truck. He can Swords Dance. I'm not sure if he can Dragon Dance. He has Outrage, Earthquake, stab moves. So if you're free to play player, I would recommend Garchomp. Okay, let's keep going. Let's finish this up. Lucario. I mean, I already started this video. Might as well just finish it. Lucario, shiny Lucario. Better options. I think his typing is cool. That's about it. Toxic Croak, Obama Snow, not worth talking about. Mega Weavile, here we go. Mega Weavile, to me, needs to be nerfed. People just, I mean, this is smart. Is when you're doing your Mega team, just invest in like your best Mega, maybe your best 2 Megas if you want, and you can easily get a lot of sweeps in PvP. So what people run, you're probably familiar with this, is Swords Dance, Ice Punch, which Ice Punch you can only learn as Sneasel, not as Weavile. Ice Punch, Swords Dance, Brick Break, or Substitute, and Night Slash. Night Slash is the high crit chance. It has Tough Claws, which increases physical attacks 30%, I want to say. And Night Slash crit with you can add a scope lens. So his Night Slash almost always crits, not all the time, but Night Slash just hurts like a mofo. It's 135 speed is just, come on, dude. Like, he's not even a legendary. I spent over 8,000. Let me rant. I spent over 8,000 SP over a week. 8,000 SP looking for that in Elix Forest, which is in the last area in Johto. People keep asking, where do you find Weavile and Sneasel? I actually won a Mega Weavile in a bug catching contest, but he didn't have Ice Punch because he's already Mega'd. They gave me a Begoated nature, which is probably the best. And then secondly would be Optimistic. Arguably, Optimistic could be better because you could take down other Weaviles. I think Substitute is really good. You can also run Fake Out. I would go with either Substitute or Brick Break. Once he gets a Swords Dance in, 1 or 2 Swords Dances, Night Slash will pretty much one-hit KO everything. Very few things can kind of make a Weavile. And I feel like the metagame is kind of revolves around Mega Weavile, and just because it's such a deadly sweeper. Yeah, I want to fit Mega Weavile into my team right now, but I have Mewtwo. Mewtwo is a good counter to Aura Sphere it, but to come in safely, Firefighting would work. Lugia might be able to survive multi-scale. You see, Dark Ice just counters all the psychics, all the dragons. Um, I could go on and on about Weavile. So he's good if you can get good nature, put on scope lens, uh, easy wins. To me, I don't know. It's so common. Try something else out. But he is fun. I get it. He's fun. Here we have Gallade. Not. I mean, I see people using him just because he's kind of like a Mega Mewtwo X with a psychic fighting. He's decent. Decent. Psycho Cut, crit. Rotom, I'm not even going to talk about Rotom. No. These forms, I don't think the transform is available. Dialga is worth talking about. Palkia is worth talking about. Giratina is worth talking about. Dialga, 90 speed, 175 special attack, 130 and 145 defenses, 100 HP. I don't know why it says 10 here. I think that's wrong. Missing a 0 or something. But Steel Dragon is great typing, only weak to ground and fighting. However, it gets the filter ability. Filter it takes, how do I say this? It takes less damage from super effective moves. So if it's a 2 times effective, say Earthquake, it would actually be 1.5. Let's say the guy Swords Dance and he does an Earthquake, which would be 4 times effective. It would actually be only 3.5. So he takes less damage. He resists all sorts of elements and types. However, he doesn't resist dark. He doesn't resist dragon. He doesn't resist those types. But with rest, I mean, this guy is so tanky. It's pretty cheap. I know a guy who runs double team on it, and double team can be pretty annoying. Aura Sphere, Earth Power. I think the way to go would be is Dragon Pulse or Roar of Time, which Roar of Time can one-hit KO anything with 175 special attack. Roar of Time is what I want to say 120 damage base power. And here's the key to Dialga. He has an item that you can get that increases its special attack. No. An item for Dialga that increases Steel and Dragon type moves. So a stab, Roar of Time, pretty much one-hit KO anything. Pretty much. So Dialga is awesome. And with Earthquake and Aura Sphere and fighting moves, he has filter ability, and you can run a Giratina that is immune to ground and fighting in normal type. Let's go back to Palkia. Palkia is 120 speed, is great in terms of dragons. He's only weak to dragon, being a water dragon type. Excellent typing. 185 special attack. You would want to run him as a special attacker. What I see is Aura Sphere. You could run Surf, but I think Ice Beam is probably better. Dragon Pulse. No, actually, no. Scratch Dragon Pulse. He has his special move, Spatial Ren. It's a dragon move. Hurts like a mofo. It's hard to take down. If he's not running Rest, you can Toxic it. But trying to hit him with a dragon move, but he's 120 speed, so the only thing I could think that would outspeed that would be a Speed Tie or maybe Rayquaza with a higher level dragon. Just chip him down. But look at his defense, 140 special defense. Palkia is very tough to counter. Dialga is very tough to counter. Arguably just as viable as maybe Kyogre. I think Groudon is the best out of them over there. But these two are really, really good. Okay, I'm getting tired. Let's finish. Giratina, he's probably the tankiest Pokemon there is because he's got 150 HP, 125 defenses, 145 attack. You guys can read. The thing is, he's a Dragon Ghost, which is weak to Dark, Ice, Ghost. Common moves in the metagame right now. I personally like Giratina because he can Toxic. He's probably the best rest sleep talker. So even though people say don't get Giratina, I'm saying go for it because even though he's weak to stuff, he can take it. He can take Ice Beams to the face, and if you Toxic something, rest sleep talk can kill his statuses. And then he has a move called Shadow Force, which can make him disappear. So if you have a leftovers, you're getting leftovers recovery. They're getting toxic. They're switching out. You never basically die. But the thing is, like something with Weavile, it would just destroy over time, or switching in with a Swords Dance. Um, Giratina can also run R Sphere, Earth Power, good coverage, Dragon Pulse. Um, I personally think he's better as a Toxic Staller. We have, if you're still listening and still with me, we have Cresselia. Psychic, tank. Its speed is actually not bad, 97. How you slower. Probably used best as a special wall. Um, I think he's pretty good for toxic stalling. The thing is, his attacks are not about kind of low. 140, 150, 120. Very, very tanky. Has recover. So now that I'm looking at it, like this Pokemon can be as a Mega can be excellent. Excelente. Try him out if you want. I have too many Psychics on my team, so eh. We have Darkrai. Shiny Mega Darkrai. Ooh. 135 speed. Ooh. 133, 125. The thing that makes Darkrai good, everyone knows, is that he has Dark Void. And that move is, well, I want to say 80%, 85% accurate for putting the Pokemon to sleep. Sleep in the game is broken because when it's time to wake up, it actually takes like an extra turn to wake up. And if you're faster, you can just easily put it back to sleep. I think this Pokemon is a little broken. If you can get Darkrai, go for it. The thing is, let's say they have a berry, you miss or you sleep them. You really can't take that many hits. But his ability, if the Pokemon is sleeping, he actually drains, I want to say like 12.5% of their max HP each turn. So that's cool. Shaman Shucks. Arceus. In the game, in the Pokedex, it's actually known as the Creator. And look at this. Mega Arceus. 140, 140, 140, 140, 140. Ooh, I didn't know that. I actually think Arceus is available in the new update. It wouldn't be in this. Someone ripped the code or something. I think this is accurate with what is going to be released eventually, if not already. But if he is in the senior hunting one day, get him. Arceus could arguably be the best Pokemon with his tankiness and just overall great stats. 840? Damn! 840 total RVs. I don't even know what RVs stand for. And I think he can change its typing with what plate he's using. I wouldn't be surprised if Arceus pops up eventually. We got this dude. He sucks. We got Volcar. This guy. I don't think he's that good or worth talking about. So my top 10. I'm not gonna put them in the exact right order, but it would start with the exception of not having Arceus in there. I would probably say Mewtwo's are first. If you stayed with me to the to this like super long video, um, Mewtwo's, 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 Mewtwo's. Where are they? There we go. Mewtwo's are the best. You can play them in so many different ways. I think Mewtwo Y is the best Mega. 194 special attack. And he has his own item, which is Mewtwo Armor, which increases all of his stats by 6%. Mewtwo Armor is really good. So yeah, Mewtwo, then I would say Rayquaza is up there. Oh, Lugia is up there. Where's Rayquaza? Oh, okay. Latios and Latias are probably towards the end of the top 10 list. Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, Dialga and Palkia. Definitely Weavile. Definitely Weavile. Um, yeah, I would say those would be the top 10. Um, some worth mentioning would be Scizor, Slowbro, Darkrai, Giratina, Garchomp, Swampert, Ho-Oh, Metagross. Um, so to me, in if this game stays alive, you're gonna want to figure out how to counter Rayquaza, how to counter Groudon. You'll see a lot of them. How to counter Weavile. And that's why I think Slowbro would be pretty decent countering these. So yeah, that's what I've learned in my experience. Sorry to keep this video so long. I should have made this quicker, but I'm done. Thanks for watching. Check out this website. I'll put the link in the description. Peace.